Hello, Heroclix land. Welcome back to Talkn Clix. Once again, another special Nerds of the Round Table edition. I'm your host, Wespool, and my faithful Knights of the Round Table, Nerds of the Round Table, are Scott the Missing Link.
Hello.
Hello, Scott in the void of sound. We have Jay the Chef.
Sup, nerds?
And we have the artist, Antonio, Super Antonio.
What up? What up?
What's your catch thing on your channel? Is it Super Artist Antonio?
Super sketch artist.
Super Sketch Artist Antonio. Well, thank you once again for being here, guys. These episodes are always fan favorites of the channel, so I look forward to doing these periodically. So I had some specific things I want to talk about tonight. They're kind of all over the place. First of all, I want everybody to shout somebody out that inspired you or made you feel good this week.
One quick pause before we do. I just got home after a long day of work, so while I'm on this call, unfortunately, you will be seeing me eat.
All right. Well, you're gonna make me hungry.
You won't be seeing me on this call because my internet still sucks.
All right, so somebody that I want to shout out this week is Michael Straight. We've shouted him out a few times on this show, but he continues to be a shining light in the community, specifically in the Talkn Clix Discord. I'm not the best at monitoring the Discord channel. In fact, right now I can't even get into it because of password issues. And Michael is always active. He's always keeping the chat moving, engaging with people, and technically he's not even a part of the Talkn Clix crew. So I'm kind of making him an honorary member just by default. But I want to shout him out for doing everything he does in the community and for keeping the Discord moving and being a great ambassador for the community. So shout out Michael Street.
I would give him a thumbs up, but can't see it.
Who's somebody you want to shout out, Scott?
I want to shout out my old internet provider because it was much better than what I'm dealing with today because y'all are still freezing even though I am not able to be seen. So this is going to be a short call for me tonight, I'm guessing.
Jay, who's somebody that's motivated you this week?
I'm going to go with Jordan Fricks. He's the person that won the Washington ICCCO, and he moved to Washington, I want to say a little over 7-8 months ago. And he started coming to join us to play, and he's always in good spirits. He's always a pleasure to play with, to interact with. Usually after Clix, we go hit Taco Bell, so he started joining us there as well. And his optimism is very, very catchy. It's contagious.
Awesome. And Super
so
Sketch
you have
Artist.
a Rory replacement finally.
My homeboy Wesley Thomas, he and I, we talk Heroclix all the time. Him and my other homeboy Arrow Hannah, I talk to them too almost every day about Heroclix in some shape, form, or fashion. But we were talking just Heroclix and talking about the upcoming Silver Pulp that's this weekend in New Jersey at Highlander Games. You know, we're going through teams and I'm like, oh, you know, I should play this and I should play that. And we had a talk about 2 weeks ago about playing just to win instead of just trying to be cute. Cause I like to be like, oh, I'm going to build all Spider-Man team and evasion. Haha. But he's like, are you going to play or are you going to play to win? So I am going to play to win this weekend. Thanks to some help from my friends, you know, so like the Golden Girls song says, thank you for being a friend to my homeboy Wesley.
Awesome. Shout out to all the Wesses out there in Heroclix land. Apparently there's a few of us. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, we can kind of breeze through relatively easily, is something that's come up in the community a few times, especially every time a new set comes out, and there's always talk about sculpture use. So I kind of want to pick your brains about how you guys feel about sculpture use, and if you think it's is necessary or even matters to you at all? What do you think, Scott?
I think it's necessary for them to save cost, but it doesn't matter to me. Honestly, I mean, I'm cool with it.
So when you have
It's got a little bit different paint. They put a different head on it, and you guys are frozen.
uh, Lantern Legacy with 20 Kyle Rayners and all have the exact same pose, exact same sculpt, just slightly different paint jobs. You're okay with that?
Look, okay, what I didn't like about Lantern Legacy was the fact that they took up different slots. They could have had them A through G or whatever it was, and had different slots open. I'm cool with the scope for use.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about when they are reusing the sculpts from the common slots in the 400 sets?
Saves
Perfectly
cost.
fine
I'm
with
good.
that.
All right. Antonio, what do you
That's like
think?
that's like Fast Forces. The Fast Forces did the exact same thing, and nobody's ever said anything. Fast Forces was the same way. So the 400s are now the Fast Forces, so that's okay. I agree with Scott, which is like, and me being like, I'm an artist, so like I love the art of the sculpts, but I do understand that, you know, the more dynamic sculpts and stuff, which is what we want. For every like Matt Gargan like sculpt reuse that we get like a Carnage God of Symbiotes type sculpt, which is beautiful. So it's a balance. I agree with Scott because they showed us that they can do that when they did Smash and Destroy. Smash and Destroy would have one slot with three or four characters in one slot, all using the same sculpt. So it's possible for them to do that. But this isn't new that they'll take a generic body and then use it twice in a thing. So I just think more than anything, we need better character design, like character selection, because the character selection chooses the sculpt, which ends up getting reused. So if they do better character selection, then I don't care about the sculpt reuse.
Right on. Mr. J.
I think sculpt reuse is a necessary evil, at least in the common and uncommon slots, maybe to some degree in rare. And the big reason I say that is because if we don't have sculpt reuse, that's all the more figures that are going to need a sculptor, a
Mhm.
graphic designer to actually build the thing, to then a sculptor, 3D designer, however that may end up working out. Then there's going to be a mold that'll need to be made. And in order for the company to remain profitable or at least continue to do business, they would need to then pass on those costs to the customer, which is going to raise the cost of boosters. It's going to raise the cost of bricks. We If we don't want the cost to increase, then we have to deal with a certain level of sculpt reuse. Now, would I be happy if they reused the sculpt from a chase for a common sculpt? Obviously not, right? That's going to be that's when I'd be like, what the hell? But anything that's a rare and below, perfectly fine with sculpt reuse. It keeps the cost at least somewhat limited, which it does reflect back into the boosters for us. Um, Anthony Barnstable posted a little breakdown of this just a few days ago. But if you look at inflation and the amount of stuff we're getting in the boosters, overall there hasn't actually been a pretty significant price hike compared to when the
Yeah,
game first came out.
that
Like
hasn't.
I think maybe like a dollar or two more when we consider everything that has been added to the game. So if we take that into account, I think it's good that we do get the sculpt reuse to keep the cost down to where it is. I mean, how many people right now complain that the game is too expensive? If you want to keep it at same level or lower, guess what? Sculpt reuse is going to happen.
Yeah, they sculpt. This is Thor. This is Jane Thor from this. This originally is from Nick Fury and Agents of Shield set. They reused this sculpt and the Captain America sculpt in at is rare. They put this sculpt, which is a super rare. This when it came out, it was a super rare. They put it in the rare slot, right? they reused this beautiful sculpt. So I feel I agree with what Jay said, and what he said is absolutely correct. You know, at the also the price of everything is going up. So I don't understand how anybody expects costs to stay low when the price of everything is going up. Like nothing costs what it once cost back in the day, or even 5 or 10 years ago. Nothing costs what it cost 5, 10 years ago. You know, it just doesn't. You know, especially when it comes to plastics and these goods that we know are being made overseas generally. So the costs and the tariffs are gonna affect those type of things just in general. Like through the years, the cost has went up a little bit, but again, um, I agree with what everybody said, man.
All right, so everybody look up right now. Is the sky falling?
Every day.
Oh man.
You know, I'm not immune to having my own opinions. Everybody has opinions. Whenever conversations like this come up, it always seems like there's a group of people from somewhere that are just dead set against or for whatever topic it is, and they're just so adamant about it. There's people out there that are pure at heart collectors, and they want a different sculpt with different paint jobs and everything to be chase level sculpts. There's people who you can put these dials on stick figures, they wouldn't care because all they care about is the dials. I think that Wizkids right now is walking that line of a happy medium because you're not going to make everybody happy, but and that's obvious in this community. There's always somebody that's pissed off, but I think that as long as they keep the sculpt reuse to rare level and below, that's fine. The one thing I would like to see is if they're going to reuse a sculpt that they put some distance between this set and the previous set that it was used in.
But they did, Wes. They did.
No, I'm
The
just saying
last.
there was a Hawkeye that was notorious for being the same sculpt for every Hawkeye for like 5 years.
Mhm.
Like I get
It,
you can only
it,
pose somebody in so many angles and stuff, but it was one Hawkeye for every one Hawkeye sculpt for every Hawkeye, and it was a little tedious. But other than that one piece that people like found for a minute, I think they've done
I
a
remember
pretty
that
decent job.
Hawkeye.
Oh, you're talking the one that's from Avengers Forever,
Yeah,
then
The
basically
the West Coast Avengers number
ABC.
one covers. That's
yeah,
what that pose is from.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's Hawkeye. Like, but Collector's Trove just came out. Collector's Trove came out not so long ago. There's no sculpt reuse in that set. No one cares. So I personally feel like people are complaining about sculpt reuse. Those people who are complaining about sculpt reuse also don't like. I literally had somebody say make a post about that in one of the Facebook groups, and then went on to say that they don't buy product from WizKids. They don't support the game. They only buy secondhand. And then two, I know exactly. My face was your face while I was reading it. And then and then second they said, well, I don't even like the CUR stuff mainly. So why are you complaining about the CUR stuff where the sculpt reuse happens, and then you say you don't support the game, but really you do, because if you buy from someone, that meant the product got bought, which meant they're supporting the game, which means you're in essence supporting the game by supporting the stuff that
Support
they buy so they can buy more stuff to support the game. Like people
downstream.
just people are just gonna complain to complain, and I feel like sculpt reuse at this point sculpt reuse is a reason to complain.
Well, and
So
as
on
it,
that note, when the game first started, we had a ton of sculpt reuse, right? In
Yeah,
REV, every figure was
yeah,
basically
three
sculpted
times.
3 times, and nobody complained about. Well, okay, I'm sure somebody complained about it. I didn't see it that much, but it's naturally just going to happen. Now, on that note, are we likely to see sculpt reuse of a known character with a generic version of them? Yes, that's going to happen. There's only so many people that look like Norman Osborn. There's going to be some generic
yep,
Yep,
dude
yep,
that's dressed up in a
yep,
suit and is a politician. There's
yep,
going to be a generic goblin who can serve as goblin army. Why are
yep,
you complaining? It's
yeah,
stuff that makes sense. If we got like, a Hawkeye that's holding a sword and has no blades 8 range, and then we see that every time, and then they use that same sculpt with the same type of dial for something else, then I get it. Like if the sculpt doesn't match the character or the figure, sure, and it's a very blatant reuse. I get it. At that point, yes, complain. It's not a decent representation. One of the big reasons I play the game is because models are pre-painted.
Yep.
I'm not going to step away from this game to go to something like Warhammer or anything where I can change that. You have the liberty, even in the tournament rules, it is pointed out, if it's a
Yeah, you can
repainted.
paint a figure.
Exactly. If you want to repaint it, go for it. There's plenty of people that do custom sculpts. If you want a custom sculpt done, get one done. Like I've got Ganon here on Miss Marvel because it makes sense. I've got freaking um, Link on a Taskmaster because it makes sense. The Spider-Man Unlimited show really enjoyed that, so I had a sculpt made for that to go on the 200 Spider-Man dial because it's like, okay, it makes sense. Just if you have a duplicate, do what you need to do to have that dynamic sculpt.
I just
Stop
thought it was
complaining.
funny when Lantern Legacy came out that people were complaining about the multiple uses of Hal Jordan and Kyle Rayner with
Well, that was
different paint
because of what
jobs.
Scott said.
Because, well, here's the thing. It wasn't that long before that I was listening to, I think it was Critical Clix or Clixed Off, where they were saying, man, I wish they'd just give us different paint jobs. They can reuse the same sculpt, just different paint jobs. And then they did that, and people were still bitching about that. I'm like, come on, guys.
Again, people just want something to complain about, which is fine. That's fine.
I do want to
That's
say
fine.
though on this, so that when's the last time that you had a sculpt with an eyeball in the middle of its head? Like the quality that we're getting, the materials used, this quality of
one of those
paint
last
jobs, everything is so astronomically better than even when I started a few years ago. That I mean, we can only complain so much before it just gets monotonous.
Have you been on the internet?
Unfortunately,
People can complain all day and all night. And also, when it comes to that eyeball out of place thing, people have to understand that people that are making this stuff doesn't 99.9% of the time they're working a job that they don't care about. The same way most people who collect this game are working a job that they don't care about. They're on a conveyor belt or on an assembly line where they're just doing this thing. They don't care. They're not standing there like a meticulous thing. They're not doing. That's not what they're doing. So it's called, if you see a patch out of or an eyeball out of place, that's more of a rarity in most cases than it is like the standard. That's just not the standard. But people will find one that has a derpy face and be like, look what I got, look at Wizkids quality control. Go to the get on the plane, go across the world to Taiwan where this is made, and look in the factory and see if those people care about damn Heroclix. They don't. So it's like, again, people are gonna complain, man.
I would
Whatever.
love, I'm the kind of nerd that back when we watched DVDs and Blu-rays, I watched the commentaries and special features. I loved behind the scenes stuff. And I know it'll never happen, but I would kill for WizKids to pull the curtain back a little bit so we can see how these are made, because I would be fascinated with that. I don't even really care. I just like knowing. I'm very curious about that way. But that's just me.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about the silver pulp format?
More ways to play the game is always a good thing. Like the more ways to play the game is always a great thing. So more power to WizKids needs to make more formats. I'm waiting for them to make a modern format that is higher than 300. Like that's modern. I'm waiting for that. Just to see some fun. I'm waiting to see them have a format with more actual theme play. They need to get into that too. That would be great. So I'm all for it.
Scott,
Agreed. Yeah, I'm here. I agree. All for more ways to play.
So, big question that comes into how I answer this question. Are you talking from a competitive standpoint, or are you talking from a casual standpoint? Because that is going to make a big difference in how this answer comes.
I am talking from a player standpoint. If you are going to an event to play competitively, answer that way. If you're going to an event, or you're not going to an event, if you're just going to your Saturday afternoon game and playing 400 pulp, silver pulp, that's different. I guess for most people that are listening to these podcasts, they're probably listening to it from a competitive standpoint. So let's go that way.
I think from a competitive standpoint, I don't like the silver 400. And it's just because of the overlap into the silver, where you've got two different places that you have to look at the ban list. Um, the map list being shortened. I like the Wakanda map. I like running teams that are long range. I don't want to be forced to play the short Wakanda map when I can play the long one. The map list to me, with especially with taking out any maps that go into modern with the shorter version being taken out of silver, not a fan of that. The other big thing that bugged me and took me away from wanting to play the format was just straight banning all 2x2s. There are a lot of yes, there's a few of them that are problematic, like Dark Phoenix, Wendigo, etc. But when you just blanket get rid of everything, like everything from AI, not that big of an issue. Most of the stuff from XDPS, not that much of an issue. It makes the format a little more stale, in my opinion. Now, is this something that David and the championship Clix had direct control over? We don't know. Am I going to fault them for it? No. I personally don't like the no 2x2s and then the huge ban list to go with that. So some of it I get, some of it I don't. But the whole 2x2s being gone, that was a big detractor for me. That being said, from a competitive standpoint, I've also seen that most of these events haven't cracked 20. I think there was one state that's cracked 20 attendance for it. And then the rest of them have all been below like 15 or so. Washington, we had 12. And then after after the first before the first round, when two of the players saw some of the other teams, which Moon Knight and then the Vampire Pogs being on almost half the teams, they're like, okay, we don't want to play against this because this doesn't feel very pulpy. And then after 3 rounds, we didn't go on to round 4 as the format would have requested, because we had so many people just say even ahead of time that, hey, because of what we're seeing, we don't want to play more than 3 rounds, and just say, cool. Then, we ended up playing 3 rounds and then cut to top 4. At the end of round 2, I had 5 people wanting to drop and not even play the third round. That when you have a format that has so many restrictions that the meta becomes like two or three specific builds, it makes the game really stale, which I'm not a big fan of.
All right. Has anybody not talked yet? Scott, turning on Jay?
Antonio.
Okay. All right. So this might be a little bit of a hot take. I don't know. I have very mixed feelings about it, but I feel like in the realm of Heroclix, there is no limit to ways to play. When I first met Scott, he sent me a spreadsheet of 100 different formats of casual.
It's not 100. It's only like 30.
And then he's been talking every week about the 4-letter word Heroclix and all this kind of stuff. And that is awesome. I love that part of the game, that every venue can do its own thing, and every kitchen table can do its own thing. There's an established quote unquote Wizkids, formal Heroclix, but everybody can do anything they want, which is awesome. When it comes to certified official format play, the more complex you make it for the players, the harder it gets. I understand the need for a different ban list and different rule sets for modern and silver. They're two completely different animals. But then you throw in pulp and theme, which really never took off. Now we got silver pulp. It gummies the waters. When you take a new player to their first event and they sign up for all these events, you gotta go, okay, now for this one, the build has to be this way, and you can't play these figures for this reason. And this event, you can only play these figures, but not these figures. It's just way too complicated. I understand the need for two sets of rules and lists for silver and modern, but when you branch outside of that and get these other fingers of the formats, it gets a little too complicated for tournament play. I think they should stick to the set standards so that anybody can jump in and know what to do without having a whole different, Google all the format specifics. But that's my take. I think it's a fine format. I think it just should stick into the more casual realm.
There's no way to do that when you have competitive play. When you offer prizes and you set up a tournament standard, and now we have this thing, the Elio or whatever the hell it's called, where like they rank people, keep track of like they rank the best players in the world. When you have people that some people just wanna they play the game just to be the best of they want to win all the time. Whenever you have any format that you have, you're gonna have people that are gonna min max to everything to get the best thing. So like Jay said, regardless, like about the people are only playing certain builds, it would be the same thing if Wendigo and Dark Phoenix were around. That's who you would see. You would see Wendigo and Dark Phoenix on every team. That's 45 points of on every team. On every team, because why wouldn't you pay 45 points for those two figures? You know what I'm saying? And then what it does is that plus all the other stuff, the Moreland tech and all that type of stuff, when you start doing that, you're gonna see the same builds all over. You're gonna see the cream. The cream always rises, is what people say. So
So
that's never gonna change because it's the same thing. I mean, when you look at all of the ROCs that we just had, Rogue Prime was on almost every top four team, if not every top four team. At least probably three quarters of every top team had Rogue Prime on it. So you're gonna see the top. You're gonna see the top pieces in any format. Those pieces are gonna be played by everyone who has them. So in Pulp, you're gonna see if people just want to win. They're gonna have I think it's maybe three or four builds in Pulp right now that are like, okay, these things will give you a high rate of winning. So no matter what people want to play, it's like I said earlier, are we playing for fun or are we playing to win? And if there are prizes on the line, and there's a brick of Strange Tales that could possibly have a $100 figure in it, that I might be able to pay $30 and win that $100 figure on top of a chase booster, on top of other LEs and stuff like that. That's money that people can then that's prizes that people can turn into money. So they're gonna put their foot
So
forward. So we're never
what
gonna.
you're saying is you're okay with the 4 or 5 different formats in a uh, certified play.
I mean, yeah, they're doing it that way. They're doing the ban list and all that type stuff to try to make it so it's not super oppressive. The fact that, but I still don't believe that they're not trying to make it super oppressive. That the fact that you got time breakers legal, time breakers, like why are time breakers legal in silver now? You saw how crazy they were for 5 points. For five points,
They're
nothing should
fine.
be that powerful.
They're
to be
fine.
fair, they were reeled back pretty significantly when the errata on them was done.
Yes.
No, they weren't real back enough. Like they're still too powerful for what they do. They're still too powerful for what they do.
I
For
will
five
grant you
points,
that.
that's too. That's too. That's what I'm saying though. It's the effectiveness versus the cost. The cost is nothing. Damn near 5 points is nothing. And if you come get the one I just made, now you're across the map, and that's my first turn. Your first turn immunity is gone, and mine isn't. And in a pulp, there's no Hulk mutant or none of that BS that people play. So it's like, okay, it's just that's one of those things that that's why the ban list is there to try to get some of that crap out. But when I see that certain pieces are still legal, I'm like, okay, so y'all ban Thanos, but y'all won't ban something small like the, again the time breaker, huh? It's just weird. Whatever.
All right. We can break down the time breaker debate another time because I feel like we could go on for an hour about that.
Oh
I
man.
definitely don't feel like they are overpowered for their cost. I think they're fine, especially after the errata. But that could be a whole episode by itself.
No, I'm in the boat with Antonio. They're still too good for their 5 points.
I I think I'm with Wes on this one. That they're good, yes, but they are significantly reeled back, and they can very quickly lead you to triggering the mercy rule if you KO enough of them.
All right, like I said,
That's a
we'll circle back to this another time. I got other stuff I want to talk about today. One of which kind of ties into what Antonio was just saying. Why do you go to events? Why do you play HeroClix? Are you going to play the meta to bring the best of the best to stomp the opponents, win the trophy, and come home champion? Are you going with your favorite figures with a fun team and hope for the best? Or are you just going to have fun and don't really care? Why are you going to H4H or Red Riding Clicks or Worlds?
I mean, there's many different reasons to go. I go for people. I want to try and compete and win the prize if it's feasible for me. But once I get there and realize, wow, this team is not going to compete, then I just try and have as much fun as I can. Taking those lumps can be painful, but I still take the lumps. But the people, I go for the people every time. I love the people.
All right, so if you know you're not going to make cut, you've lost your first 2-3 rounds, know you're not going to make cut, are you dropping or are you seeing it through because you like your team and you're just going to play it through?
I just see it through. I mean, I paid to play, and if I'm on a budget, I've already paid for this game. I'm going to play this out. If I have unlimited funds, then I'll go join some battle royals.
All right. What do you think, Antonio? Are you meta or are
Um,
you casual?
I mean, the meta sucks realistically, so it's boring to me. So I'm just getting into the mindset of like I'll play, but like I said earlier in this call, like I like to build stuff that's cool. This shows that I love the game, not just because like oh my gosh I want the best pieces, but I love the game. I love this says I love the characters, not just like HeroClix. Not just the game. So I love playing the characters that I like. The only issue is most characters that I love don't get made into super broken meta pieces. You know what I'm saying? So I want to play them. I just made a team with Eternity that can play all of the planets because he gets all the keywords. So all the planets can function through him. That's a fun team.
Yeah,
Guess what?
someone posted that earlier.
Nobody's gonna think to play that. Do you know why? Because somebody can just run over there, call Halt Mutant on him, and then no matter what point value he is, he's not built to withstand again a rogue prime or something like that. He's not really built for that, right? And that's fine, good and dandy. But I have a plaque on my wall that says that I'm a team world champion, which is when I go to worlds, I love that event because I love seal play. I should have had a trophy, but national the for nationals last year the BR champion. Why? Because I love BR play. So I go for what is called more casual play, even though I think seal play takes more skill than meta play, and nobody can change my mind about that. But um yeah, that's I can consider myself a more casual player, but I'm getting into the meta, which means I'm gonna have to start playing all the BS that everyone else plays because that's what wins. Ugh. But I mean, that's what everyone else is doing. So it's like, all right, I just want to try it one good time. So that's what I'm gonna do all this year. Any big event I'm just gonna play the bullshit. I'm just gonna play all the meta stuff that everyone plays, all the formations that I know works, and all that type stuff, and just see how I do. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna do at all the events this year. So
What do you say, Jay?
For me, it's mostly I mostly play casual, and with that, playing locally has been for. I mean, it's time spent with friends. It's making sure I know the rules, which then helps me be more precise, one in my communication as well as in my reading comprehension. So there's that side of it. But if I'm traveling for an event, either a um, I'm going to I'm going to focus more on the people that I'm around. For example, when I went down to Oregon States, one of the big reasons I went down there was to be able to see Jason, who I get to see very few times a year, because he's pleasure to be around. And being able to travel and see him at the events, have a chance to play against him, and then there's many other people like that. I enjoy that. Am I going to play a super competitive team? Maybe. Do I care about the prizes? Most of the time, not as much anymore. Um, but it's more about the people and then the time spent. And then again, on the other side of it is being precise in my communication, improve, making sure my reading and the rules lawyering is on point. For example, the thing that I was messaging you guys about earlier, which is dumb, but by all rights accurate to the rules.
Yep. There.
You can't just leave a cliffhanger. You got to tell people what you're messaging.
No.
No,
No. It is interesting though the about the nuances of language and how there is a level of interpretation of intent versus accuracy, and
Robert
accuracy
is right.
will outweigh intent unless ruled otherwise by those who made the
The
game.
powers that be. Yeah.
Um,
Um,
go ahead, Jay.
the rules intended versus rules as written is always going to be an interesting debate. I think that's something we can debate at another time, but
Yeah.
most of us have enough common sense to be able to go, okay, that doesn't make logical enough sense. Two words missing, we're just going to bypass. I mean, how many times have you actually seen that be brought up?
Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
How many languages do each of you speak?
0.
What do you mean 0? You're speaking in English right now.
No, no, no. You're understanding English right now, but that doesn't mean I speak it well.
You say you speak 4 languages, Antonio?
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Which ones?
We're talking about Heroclix, man. I don't care. I don't want to talk about languages
All right,
right now. Okay.
Jay, do you speak more than one language?
I do.
Okay.
I mean, you got to speak English and Wizkids to play the game.
Would it
That's
is it
two- that's
accurate to
two
say,
already.
for those of you who speak more than one language, that English is a extremely imprecise language?
Mm-mm.
No,
Mm-mm. Okay.
that's what I've always heard. Is that those who
English has a
speak
bunch of
other
rules.
languages say that English is the most difficult to learn because it's so imprecise.
It's just about how the pronunciation of words is that makes English a hard thing for other people to learn and stuff like that. That's the issue, is the way vowels and things of that nature work, and hair type of thing, and there and all that type of stuff, and all those things. So that stuff can get,
Well,
I don't know.
what does choose mean?
You know what choose means.
Every one of your arrow cards. Just go read them.
So, I first off, English is not an imprecise language. It requires a higher level of mastery in order to be able to use it well. It's a simple matter of A plus B equals C. If you're wanting to communicate C, you need to make sure component A and B are there in the right way. Um, so to me, it's like math. Most languages are that way. You just have to put things in the right order to be able to get your message across as you're intending. Um, Different languages have different ways that they handle it, but ultimately, that's what it comes down to. Um, I don't think I learned English as my sixth language. To give you an idea, it is not a imprecise language. It just requires a higher level of mastery to use well.
Well, my point in that was that it's more complicated than just reading words on a page. There's nuances that go into it. So there is a level of interpretation of any language. So the way I read a sentence may not be the same way that you read a sentence. We understand the same mechanics, but we put our own voice to it. And I think Heroclix players tend to read cards imprecisely because they read it the way they want to or the way they think it should be. People write it that way. The example that you were talking about to us earlier, I think, is the technical breakdown. Again, technically correct, but is not the intent of the author.
Right, but that comes down to precise usage, right? In what we were talking about, two words would make a huge difference in that specific phrase.
Mm-hmm.
Without those two words being there, now you have different interpretations on how that can be applied.
So,
but
in terms of Prime
hold on a
Road,
second.
what?
Hold on a second.
Okay.
If those two words were there, now that gets rid of any ambiguity. It tells you that this plus this allows for C to happen, right? But without that too, now you have a little bit of openness in interpretation, which I think is where a lot of things happen as far as people interpreting things in different way. But without that, if you have the reading comprehension, you can, and everything is communicated the way it's meant to be communicated, that shouldn't be an issue.
I feel like we're just trying to secretly talk about Wakanda and Hulkbuster.
Yeah.
We are secretly talking about Wakanda and Heroclix.
I want to get away from the inside joke for our listeners, but
I didn't even know that's what we were talking about.
For example, Prime Rogue.
Wakanda Hulkbuster.
For example,
I didn't even know.
Prime Rogue. It's still not been, as far as I know, clarified what choose means. What is the wording that would make that more precise?
I think it makes perfect sense the way it's written. Like, you can't have a collector choose to give her a collection token.
Any effect that uses the word choose in it cannot be used
Cannot be used on Rogue.
Her. Exactly.
Collector,
the only thing that works on Rogue is attacks. Period. That's it.
Collector can give her tokens.
No, he cannot.
No,
because
he has to
choose
her. He has to
choose her, which she just can't be chosen.
She can't be chosen for it. Like, again, you have to choose somebody to use to be the target of probability control, right? This is. I had this same.
Jay,
I had these conversations all the time
ruling on her real
people.
quick because I'm almost positive they ruled that otherwise.
Hold on.
With Rogue,
yeah.
I mean, at one point they did rule it that you could like prob her or some other stuff like
collector,
or collector her and stuff like that. Like, she is made so that you can't when a power says you can't choose. Rogue can't be targeted by anything like that. When you choose someone, that means you're targeting that person. We understand how that works, but again, when they want things to work one way and not another way, that's all they're going to do is try to contort it. If it's not every single, I just had this conversation the other day. The new Carnage, the God of Symbiotes, Carnage God of Symbiotes. He has a trait that says Carnage God of Symbiotes when he can re-roll when a friendly character rolls Blaze Claw's Fangs, they can re-roll the roll. When y'all hear that, does that mean that you can re-roll the roll 1,000,000 times until you get the roll that you want?
Nope.
No. One-time thing. Once.
So I'm sitting here talking with my guys in the group chat, and they're like, "Oh, this is a day one errata for what?" It clearly says you get to re-roll the attack. We have powers in the game that says you can re-roll multiple times. We literally rare Spider Boy from the same set says you can use probability control more than once as long as it targets a Spider-Man family character. Carnage doesn't say anything about that. It just says you can re-roll the Blaze Claws roll. What it is, unfortunately, is some people will again skew the wording, and then some people are looking for loopholes.
See, I feel like
That's
yes, and no. There are certain figures, certain instances, certain people that is exactly what they're doing. I've been guilty of it myself. There are figures, however, like Prime Rogue, that I can see the arguments both ways, and
Hold
I
on.
feel like they're both right.
So here's the thing. Previously, it worked because, as written, it said free, give a collection token to an opposing character. There's nothing in there about choosing or targeting. So yes, you could. However, the errata on him is nobody dares oppose a collector. Free, choose an opposing character, give that character a collection token.
So to
Now
fix
it doesn't work
Rogue, they
because
fixed Collector.
it yes and no. I mean, by all rights, that's how realistically it should have been worded to begin with. But at that point, we didn't know that a character like this was coming up to have to worry about it, and two, it choosing at that point didn't matter. Now that there's a character that specifically says, "Hey, the word choose matters." Now, now that's something that can be adjusted. Aside from us being human, so are the people on the rules team.
Yes.
So are most people playing the game. People are going to make mistakes.
Well, and that's where I feel like intent comes into play. You have to factor in the intent. If I say I love you, that I'm not saying I love you the way I love my wife and my kids. If I say I love pizza, like it's one word that means 10 different things. You have to factor in the intent of the speaker, which means the people who write these cards in this case. And then judges have to factor that in. They go, yes, like it technically says this, but because they forgot one word. But the author meant this. It's clear in the intent.
Okay, but if you're putting a lot more things into communication there than needs to be. If you tell somebody, "Hey, I love you," there doesn't need to be a comparison made between how much do you love me compared to this person, or do you love me the same way you love pizza. It's a matter of communicating your feeling towards that person that, "Hey, I love you." That's all that it is, right? That it doesn't need to be interpreted any further from there. Like, "Hey, I'm actively invested in your well-being. I care for you. I love you." That's all there is. There's zero reason to compare that. Hey, if you say to me, I'm not going to go, how much does he love me compared to his wife? Why is he saying that to me and not
exactly
just to his wife?
Heroclix players do. They nitpick every syllable of every word. That's why the word choose became such a hot topic for 6 months.
Sure. It doesn't matter anymore. It really just doesn't matter anymore. And the effect was there was ambiguity.
Is the sky falling?
What?
I said, "Hey Wes, look outside. Is the sky falling?"
Yeah.
So there was ambiguity about choose and collector. That ambiguity was fixed. Okay, now we don't need to necroprancer this shit.
Love the necroprancer term.
All right. Well, that was a whole tangent I never planned on getting on, but it was an interesting conversation. I think the original thing we were talking about was why you go to tournaments, and I will say that there is no wrong way or wrong intent of going to a tournament. Go whatever makes you happiest. I went to an event not that long ago where I was getting the pants beat off me, and I was still having a blast. Until I talked to somebody and they're like, "Man, you're not playing very good. You've lost every game." And that kind of rained on my parade a little bit. But I wasn't going to win the event. I was going to hang out with friends and play figures that I enjoy and just roll dice. So it's having fun. Other people may not have. Azareth holds himself to a very high standard competitively. And unless he finishes at the very top of the ladder, he does not have fun. So it's whatever floats your boat, I guess.
Okay, the end results may not be fun. I'm sure he's had fun throughout the day.
I will say there is one wrong way to go to an event, and that is if you're going there just to rag on the event and the people attending.
Correct, sir.
Um,
Part of that is just being a good sportsman, just having the right attitude.
yes.
I agree.
All right. What else was on my agenda? All right. So we got a lot of previews this past week. We want to talk about Venom previews or Toy Fair previews.
Let's go Toy Fair previews.
All right. As far as I know, we have only a couple of decent shots of what's coming. So there's a lot of speculation out there, but I think that the top of the food chain is the premiere of G.I. Joe.
No, I feel like top of the chain is Thunderbolts, man.
Well, hold on. G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
They just showed the boxes for G.I. Joe and Cobra.
There was
Right.
a box for G.I. Joe and a box for Cobra. And I think it was Antonio's video, which if you guys have not watched his unboxing video of Thundercats and his video of the Toy Fair, I watched it because those are both very good videos.
Thank you.
But Antonio pointed out the different boxes for G.I. Joe and Cobra. And I think that would love to see more of that going forward.
I think we'll get it. We'll get it.
Everything has good guys and bad guys. I'd like to see, Avengers versus Masters of Evil boxes.
I think we're going to see it. I think we're. Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
The Avengers versus Masters of Evil. I have one sitting right down here.
Where was that
one?
They made it.
And the maps in it were actually really good too. So
except for the Ultron one.
That's one of my favorite maps. Ultron Face is amazing.
Yes.
Ultron Face is it. Let's fight. We're not dancing around. Let's fight. Come on.
No, I'm on Antonio's side. Ultron map is amazing.
Amazing, man.
Every single Ultron Face map I have enjoyed.
Scott, what do you see when you see that map? Because you're colorblind, right?
No, I'm not colorblind. That map, I love playing that map because my opponents hate it because it's so busy.
Yeah.
Now on Roll20, it's not nearly as busy. It's still cool looking on Roll20, but the map itself, I'm like, oh, hey, you hate all this busy stuff? I'm going to drop this map down because it messes with you. Because I'm a troll.
No fighting. I mean, no hiding. No hiding.
So the cat's out of the bag. We got G.I. Joe and Cobra coming down the pipe. We don't know what figures are in there. We can speculate. Antonio, I will say you left one out on your wish list of figures. Sergeant Slaughter.
He'll be a con exclusive. If they're ever gonna put a con exclusive figure out, it would be Sergeant Slaughter, 1000%. Like, but when it comes down to like what you're talking about, we should get them making Joes and them making Cobra. That makes sense because we have enough like high profile Joes and high profile Cobra that you can't just make one Iconics. Even if you made like a Death of Superman where you have 8 figures, now they might feel like they're cheating a few characters here and there. You know what I'm saying? Where is this character? Where is that character? Versus if you just make it exactly like the Thundercats in the sense of, you just make five or six Joes, 5 or 6 Cobra. More than likely, you're going to get your favorite from each faction. It's the same thing. I believe we're going to get Transformers soon enough, based on like Hasbro and all that type of stuff. So having a box that looks like this, that just has the Autobot logo on it or the Decepticon logo on it, some people will buy this just based on this when they see it in the store. And then opening it up and then seeing, good artwork, all the Autobots, seeing all the Decepticons, and then when we get G.I. Joe, seeing all the Joes, seeing the Cobras, even Masters of the Universe. Master Universe is coming. So getting a He-Man, that's it's just super easy. Even if we get maybe 5. That's what He-Man, Man in Arms, Tila, Battle Cat,
Orko,
Orko, and the Sorceress. That's 6 in one. And then you got what? Skeletor,
Beastman,
Evelyn, Beastman, what? Triclops, Merman,
Merman. You can
and
go on and on about the villains.
and Lockjaw. There you go. That's
Oh,
6 right
Lockjaw was
there.
boy. I love Lockjaw.
That's and here's the thing. And people again right now, I have all these here. I got a sound wave right here. So it's called like that's one of this is something I had as a toy because the Decepticons generally looked cooler than the Autobots in certain ways. So it's like every kid that I know loved Soundwave. So I want all my Autobots. I want the all of them. I want all the stuff. So WizKids is smart to not only go out for these IPs that are different than just the Marvel and DC stuff. I just want them to get to a point where a blind product is worth actually playing, not just having, but playing. All blind product. I'm gonna say it today. Today we got to see Scott Porter, Venom Horse, right? It could be that thing could have been 10 times better with just a small change on the movement power. It could have been 10 times better than what
It
it
looks
actually
great
is.
as it is.
It looks great, but here's the thing. All 4 of us are players of the game. So again, I'm gonna get it and it's gonna get bought by me. I want it, right? I want it, but I also want to play it. I have all my horses right here. Horses are
It's
literally right
60
there.
points. Why wouldn't you play it?
Zombie
60
unicorn.
points. It's nothing.
Yeah, but it's not good. It's not about
Ah,
that. See, when I say that, your reaction is because most people are gonna say, oh, well, you want it to be meta. No, 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 no. I said it can stay the way it is. It needs one change.
well,
Why would you make it instead of giving it full move charge, which is what it should have, you made it so it just moves and quakes for 60 points. That's just not good. Versus if you make it have full move charge along with whatever the powers that the pilot has, you have a really fun figure. It's not going to dominate the meta, but it actually would be more worth playing than what it is. I feel
it
like
would be
all
consistent with the source material because that scene was all about running really fast.
it's a Venom. It is Venom on top of a horse. So what do horses do? They run. So why not give it full move charge? It's attacking. It's a Venom horse. Just get that one change. I don't have any other notes for. But what I'm saying is make non-blonde product like worth playing, not just having. I have this big thing that I plan on playing Orgo. Most people don't look at Orgo and be like, "Oh, I want to play this." I love this figure, but most people don't look at it as something worth playing. And why not? We have the capabilities to make it because guess what? We have this guy, and everyone loved this guy. Everyone loved him. Everyone loved Groot, and he
All right.
plays. He does stuff that's like that. So I love all the IP stuff. Make the non-blonde product worth playing, not just having playing.
All right. Before I respond to any of that, I want to hear from Jay and Scott.
Um, the big thing I was excited for was to see the Thunderbolt stuff. I really hope that it is just a notorious version in Marvel with like 8, 9 different goons from different factions. We've got Sinister Syndicate, we've got the Hand, we've got AIM. There's a ton of stuff, right? So I hope we see like a ton of different goons. I hope we see literally everything is just bad guys across the board, and then the chases are the evil versions of character. I think there's um, Emperor Stark. I think this is one of the ones that I named on there. Um, I didn't fully pay attention to picture to notice that GI Joe was in there, but that's cool to see. But like Emperor Stark. Hydra Cap, and then the alternate version, just if you were to take Notorious and just translate that over, the second version of Hydra Cap could be Captain Krakoa, because that was really cool to see him in that suit. For Tony Stark, we could very easily have the version where it's oh gosh,
They could redo Superior
Supreme.
Iron Man too.
Yes, thank you. Superior Iron Man is who I was
Yep.
thinking of, and then
Yep.
Emperor Stark. For for Thor, we have the Ice King Thor.
You could do
And
Ragnarok as well. You could do Ragnarok.
Yep.
He was part of the Thunderbolts too at one point in time.
Yeah. Though I think that's more fitting for like CUR. If I'm looking at the chases again,
Oh yeah, Chase. Yes.
direct comparison to Notorious, where they had the undead and then the
Oh yeah. Okay.
just like do different versions of good guys where they were bad guys. Axis, right? So I really hope that's what it is because I love me some goons.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they also do Dark Avengers as chases as well, which are just all villains dress up as Avengers. You
Yeah,
could
but
easily do that.
I would think that those would be more fitting as like super rares and rares. And
Well,
then
I mean, think about it in the way this the Sinister Six were a chase theme in Spider Verse. So if you give them a shared trait and you give them 2 point values, and you make them all work together, we've already seen the Sentry. So seeing the Sentry sculpt, if I don't know for anybody, so we are getting a lot. We are getting good guys. So Sentry's in there. We've seen Hawkeye sculpt, which I'm sure we'll get twice because Hawkeye not only was the leader of the Thunderbolts, but like Bullseye dressed as Hawkeye for the Dark Avengers and stuff like that. So if they wanted to do that version of it, it's so easy to do Wolverine's like the arm switch and just put him in the brown costume, which we haven't got for a little while, and make one Wolverine, one Dakin.
We also have Barney as Hawkeye.
That's Hawkeye. Yep. Trick shot. Yep.
So.
Yep.
But like literally taking the direct template for Notorious over, having everything in CUR SRs be just straight up just evil characters, and then the chases being the evil versions or like the undead, whatever you want to call them, just those converted. I want to see a mega set that's like 81 plus figures, and yeah, give me a ton of goons.
Missing Link, where are you at?
All right, I'm on the. I like what Jay's saying. Put the Notorious theme onto the Thunderbolts. I love it. I'm gonna go back to Joe. They got the Joes themselves, and then they got the Cobra, and that could be two different unboxings that Talkn Clix could do. I mean, Wes is former military, so he could be a Joe, and I'm always the Joker's bad guy. So give me the Cobra boxes, and I'll open them up.
I'm very curious how they're going to handle, because I don't know if it's just a Wizkids thing or licensing with their properties, but they've steered away from using firearms in any sculpts for a very long time.
It's been that way for a long time. The game is it's been that way for over 10 years now. Like,
so
realistically,
how are they going to incorporate G.I. Joe without guns?
I mean, because all you got to do is just have people kind of maybe look like they're running or like Duke. I'm telling you what sculpt Duke's going. Duke's going to be like all the way up with maybe like holding an American flag with his finger up, like, or like pointing forward. Cobra will just have Cobra Commando have his hand in the air. Snake Eyes will have a sword. Maybe you'll have like jumping poses or like running poses and stuff like that. But that is going to be a hard sell with no guns at all. And I thought about that same thing.
When I think about G.I. Joe, I think vehicles. Those boxes do it big enough to have any vehicles in them.
Yeah, motorcycles.
We'll get the Thunder Tank before we get any G.I. Joe vehicles, though.
Well, they could do it like they did the Thunder Tank, incorporate it into somebody's powers.
Yeah, but it's much cooler if you actually have the thing like on. Again, we have.
Of course, it would.
We have stuff like the fact that we got this. So it's called like, if we have this, I want the Thunder Tank. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Panthro is nice, but I want the Thunder Tank if they're gonna make it.
Those are pipe dreams. Let's talk realistic though.
So on that note, I do have a complaint about the Thundercat set. I really wish Sword of Omen was a sword equipment. That way I could put it on my King Arthur.
Another complaint. 3 pogs? Really?
When it's supposed to be 6? Yeah.
Yes.
I have a complaint. This figure sucks. I have a complaint. This figure sucks. I have a complaint. Mumra, he's one of the best looking sculpts in the box, and his doll is horrible. Do better, Wizkids.
It literally felt like an afterthought. Like they put all this effort into the
The
Thundercats,
Thundercats. It
and then
was
they're
like,
just
oh
like,
yeah,
oh, let's throw Mumra out there. We don't care.
it's the Thundercats shut down everything that he does well, and him have it's just so this is again I make this stuff worth playing. Mum Ra's not worth playing. The Thundercats are. Mum Ra's not worth playing.
Okay, you
I
play it in a
think
sealed environment.
outside of a kitchen table game.
Outside of that, Thundercats versus Mumra, would Mumra have been playable outside of that format?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Man, I don't even
Absolutely.
remember what he does.
Not enough attack.
Exactly, because he doesn't. He if you roll well, good luck for well, great for y'all because I played it. I made a video on my page
Great
of
video.
me and my girlfriend playing it, and when you break out these things, you have to roll high. He's like destroyer when he goes on the sideline. He's like destroyer. You have to roll high to bring him out. You could get down to your very last
Mutant.
what is that thing?
Mutant.
Mutant. And then next thing you know, then he comes out with practically no mastermind fodder. And then everything that he does well, the Thundercats kill it. Lionel makes it so you can't. The Sword of Omens makes it so you can't use shape change. What does he start with? Shape change. He has one bolt for 300 points. Wizkids, stop making figures that are super powerful. Only have one bolt. It's not good play wise. It's just not good for play. He would be much better if he could attack two characters at one point in time. Being able having to attack, and I played all the Thundercats, like meaning the bystanders too. When you have Snarf that can heal, so now Mumra has to go against Snarf. Huh? Who
I
has
would have
shape
liked to have seen
change?
the mutants be better. If you're going to put your only figure with anything above a 17 toughness off the map,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
everything else has 17 toughness, they don't have fast movement, they don't have any special powers. One pulse wave takes them all out. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just not it's not good. Again, the Thundercats are built to take them out. You got energy explosion on Panthro. You have three bolts on Tigra. You got two bolts with precision on Chitara. Like they're made to destroy the mutants, which is accurate for the show, but it's not good for the
but
gameplay.
even in
You
the
know,
show, mutants were powerful.
they were.
I liked the mutants. They were cool. They were like the
Me too.
Decepticons. They had cool looking stuff that they did, and they were made to be the counterpart to the Thundercats. Yes,
Yeah,
the good
I
guy
agree.
wins, but they're supposed to at least give him a challenge. No
My
17
question for y'all
defense.
is what another thing that was previewed was the Fortress of Solitude. What do y'all think?
Yes.
What do you think is going to be in the Fortress of Solitude? So, if we base it strictly on what we got in the Batcave, you got a Batman, you got an Alfred, and you got three objects. If they base it off of just that, the box looked the exact same size wise. So if they give us the same exact thing that they gave us, what five things do you think we'll get out of the Fortress of Solitude iconics?
There
Scott.
was 4 objects.
Fortress of, or sorry,
Oh yeah,
Phantom
there
Zone
was four.
Projector.
You're right.
Phantom Zone Projector has to be one of them.
So Phantom Zone projector, okay.
Statue of Jorel and Lara.
Okay.
Like the Big Penny, just have the
The
two of them
statue of them.
together on
Mhm,
yep
mhm,
on
mhm.
a 2x1 base.
A
Okay.
That's
crystal
what
or a
I would
crystal
like to
base.
see.
Either the crystal that he holds or the crystal he puts it into.
They could do that as the thing, as the crystal thing. They could have the crystal base with Laura and Jor-El sticking out of it.
Sure. Um, so that's
Two.
the second thing.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
You'll have a
Robots.
robot.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Have what?
The
A
robot.
robot.
Superman robot. That'll be
Sure.
his Alfred. That'll be his Alfred, the helper. Okay.
A Superman.
Of course. Hopefully please make him good, Wizkids. I'm so tired of Supermans that are like, oh, this I don't want to play this. Please make the Superman actually worth playing. Like, make him worth playing.
Doesn't
Maybe
he
a
always
crypto.
have?
Oh,
Doesn't he always have
Bottle
computer?
City of Candor.
Yes.
Again, I said that in my video, Jay. They can reuse this sculpt. This sculpt is perfect for the Bottle City of Candor.
You said
Which
sculpt
one?
reuse.
All
No.
they have to do is take the little thing out of the kryptonite ring thing off and just put it in there. Like, put the Bottle City of Candor in there. It's the same exact thing. Like, they don't even gotta make a new sculpt for that. I'd be fine with that.
Isn't there always a computer of some kind in the?
Yeah, he
What
does
is
have a supercomputer.
But that also can be his thing with
The
the
crystal.
crystals, though.
I
If
feel
they
like
want to
they'd have
just
an
do it
extra
that way.
figure of Crypto the dog, since Crypto was in the movie, and he was like
I-
the protector of the base.
Hold
That's
on.
what
I think
that's what my
the
friend wants.
Kryptonian war suit needs to be in there.
So I said again, it's just like the bat suit. We could have. I said the lead suit. I said the lead suit
Sure.
for that, just so that it would give him, maybe he has like impervious. That Superman has impervious his whole dial, and the lead suit allows him to reduce penetrating
Reduce
damage.
penetrating.
Yeah. Yep.
So lead suit / Kryptonian war suit both can do the same thing.
They could do the same thing, 1,000%.
The supercomputer, Bottle City of Candor, and the Phantom Zone projector.
Now, I wouldn't mind another crypto, but I do think, based on the movie, that we will see the Superman robots in there.
robot.
Yeah, it makes sense about the helping and all that type of stuff. But another crypto, I'd be fine with that.
Baby ship.
Maybe. I mean, that would be now. My thing is, what would they want the ship to do? Because the ship has. I feel like the ship has to have some kind of purpose. So I wonder what they would make the ship actually do if they were to put that in there. It's really about
Okay.
what does it do? You know.
Why would
So-
they have the baby ship inside the Fortress of Solitude? Wasn't that still in Kansas?
It was.
Not once he got the fortress up, he did keep it in the West End. He kept it in the fortress. Yeah, but it was in Kansas until he discovered it, and then discovered the fortress, and then he put all that stuff in there.
So we listed off like 7 things, right? We listed off the City of Candor, the Bottle City of Candor. We listed off the Phantom Zone projector, the statue of Lara and Jor-El, the Kryptonian war suit, the supercomputer, and what am I forgetting? The duplicator ray, I think.
I think that's. I mean, I think it would be the first 4. I think if they base it just off of the Batcave, we get Superman robot, Bottle City, Phantom Zone projector, the suit, whichever it is, and the desk, the crystal desk, with that'll be big like the penny, that'll have that Laura and Jor-El sticking out of the top.
Okay, so then the next question becomes, what do we want each of them to do?
I mean, the Bottle City is. You could make it so that when you go to the Bottle City, you can gain tiny, which allows somebody to be carried and stuff like that. It gives you +1 from range. I mean, it's not the most devastating thing, but neither was any of the stuff that came from the Batman thing. But I think Superman stuff should be better because this is alien technology. This isn't just a big penny. This is alien technology. So the Phantom Zone projector would, I guess, maybe when you hit after resolutions, you can place a character in their starting area. That
I would take them off the map. I would take them off the map for a turn, put them on their cart, and have them come back when they clear their action tokens.
Oh my
What if they don't
God.
have action tokens?
If they don't,
Then they would come back.
then they would come back the next turn. Because when they would clear action tokens is when they come back. So come back, then remove action tokens at the end of the turn.
Cap. So make it in cap, just so you make sure that you give action tokens, so they would have to take their turn and clear.
Sure.
Ooh. The Phantom Zone. No free actions when adjacent.
Nah, I like this.
No.
Oh, come on, guys.
You stop that with your shit.
Listen.
We have
that's
enough
filthy.
complaints about Juice. We don't need to hear
Filthy.
more from other things like that.
Filthy.
Okay, we got
You stop
Juice,
that.
we got Loki, we
Nope.
got
Nope. You stop it.
Wakanda
If
Hulkbuster.
we go based on what we've seen, because remember we saw Supernova back in the day, the figure Supernova who was Booster Gold in disguise, who has a Phantom Zone projector, it puts you in your starting area, and it used in cap, and then it puts you in your starting area. So, I would love that. I love that idea, Jay, of putting it on your card or
I like
putting them
that
on your
idea.
card. Yeah,
Um,
like
okay, so Phantom Zone projector, we've got figured out. Bottle City of Candor makes you tiny for a turn. Um, here's one that people may not like. I think the crystal should
mhm.
be the two crystals should be and when I say the two crystals, I mean the statue of Lara and
Statue of
Zora.
Laura. Yep.
I think that should be the first object that takes 6 damage to destroy.
Let's do it. Well, maybe 5. Maybe
We have
6 is a lot. 6
we
is a
have a bunch of
lot.
5s.
I mean, I hear you, but that's a 5 damage to destroy an object versus or a piece of terrain versus just it needs to be you can't it just needs to be like
Hold
it
on,
can't be
remember,
blocking.
Quake can get rid of it anyways.
True,
Improve
true,
movement,
So
blocking.
I improve
true.
movement blocking will
But
get
that's
rid
why
of it too. But first object that does 6 that takes 6 damage to destroy just naturally and cannot be thrown.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
All right, so
I'd be fine with that.
this is pretty far fetched, and it's slightly off topic. We're talking about good Superman, and every Superman video game I've ever seen is garbage except for one. And it was the Superman Returns video game for the Xbox, and the life meter on Superman was the city itself, the pedestrians, the buildings, that kind of stuff. I think it'd be cool to have a really powerful Superman, like a 300-point Superman, but you have so many, 10 civilian pogs that you put out on the map that your opponent puts on the map. And when the civilian dies, he takes unavoidable damage.
It's
It's
easy
an
to kill.
interesting thought. I don't think you want your opponent to generate them unless you have a specific criteria
Well,
on
yeah,
where.
criteria
Like have them
not within
have
4
them
squares of
generate.
each other or edge of the map.
Nope. I would have them cannot generate it on within first 8 squares of their own starting area, so that they're forced to come to your side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're gonna make a mechanic like that where the opponent places stuff, it can't be somewhere where they can really
Easily
just
get to
like
it.
use it against you and make it so that before Superman even gets across the map, he's already taken damage from something. Unless you're like, oh, Superman takes one unavoidable and then place him in that square of the character and he has immune. Now, if you do something like that, now it's like, okay, well, you got me for 1, but now I'm about to get you for 4 or 5, maybe 6 damage after that. You know what I'm saying? So it's got to be a give and take
Yeah.
type of thing.
I haven't really worked it out. I literally just saw it off the top of my head, but I think it'd be a fun mechanic to kind of
Well,
flesh out.
if anything, it should be you generate a Lois Lane bystander. Superman generates Lois Lane. And then like when Lois Lane can do stuff and she can like call Superman like the old one from the Superman set could do like that.
The Dawn Green bystander that Silver Surfer has.
Oh
When
yeah,
she's
exactly.
KO'd, Silver Surfer gets +1 to all her stats. Do the
Yep.
same thing.
Yep.
When Lois Lane is KO'd, Superman gets +1 to all of his stats.
Yep. That's it. And then just make her outwit bystander just because she's a reporter. That's what they had like the last time they made a Lois figure. She had outwit, and I was like, what? Because she's a reporter? Okay, but I mean, let me ask y'all this: like, what when you think about a character like Superman and you think about him in context of the game, what is the max point value you are willing to play? You would think you would be willing to play him at a tournament level. Like a meta, what point value do you think a meta Superman should be? That's not a prime.
150.
250.
Okay,
250 for me.
I
okay.
mean, the old Superman set had the 001 at 150 and 300. And if you pulled two of them at 150, you were going to kick some tail in that event.
You was gonna probably win. Probably gonna win.
I would say 200
Oh,
points is a max for me. I knew
the
there'd
re-
be enough to put something else with it, but it'd be strong enough to hold its own.
Okay.
that's why I say 250 is because when I look at the Superman, the animated series, the Justice League TV show, the Unlimited show, as well as the plethora of other things we have, I will say I'm not as familiar with DC Comics, so they're like I can't reference the comics directly as much. But um, it's always Superman is usually a big one man army, but he's not by himself. He has some kind of supporting cast. They're not always heroes that can stand up within their own rights next to him.
Hmm.
Especially like if we're talking, Superman, the animated series, the people at his side are usually Lois, Jimmy, the Professor Professor Dr. Emil Hamilton. They're regular humans who use their wits and stuff. So that's why I would go 250 so that he can be a strong one man army, but he still requires just that little bit of support to take it home.
All right, so moving us along. Is there anything else you guys want to shout out from the toy fair?
I need to take a look at that picture to be able to do
Um.
that.
Yeah, who's the guy in the top right? The little green dude.
That's Venom. That's Venom. Venom from the release day.
Because I couldn't make
So
out who that was.
Did they share that? Oh wait, Scott
yeah.
opened it. Okay.
Yeah. So we got to. I mean, Venom Galactus is in there. He looks amazing. The Thunderbolt stuff is great. That looks cool. I can't wait for Stranger Things. That's in there. JoJo's are in there. Power Rangers. We got to see the
Oh
box
yeah.
art, at least possibly the box art for that. Knowing that Tommy's gonna be on a team for a lot of people because a lot of people's favorite Ranger. So I can't wait for that. I hope that they're good. We've already seen the sculpts for those. That picture was stock. It was just chock full of goodness. Knowing that if this is just the stuff that comes out for the rest of the year, I am content. If we only get 3 sets for this year, I'm content. Especially with all the iconic stuff that we have coming. I'm 1,000%
All
content.
right. I do want to circle
I
back to
support.
something Antonio said early on about the non-blind product. After the first round of Iconics came out and they got their stuff in a row, they kind of figured out what they're doing with it. I think the non-blind product's been pretty spectacular. There's been at least something in every Iconics box that has been meta play.
I agree. But why not make all of it good? Why not make all of it great? It doesn't have to be Kong level. All of it again. Why is Mum Ra the worst thing in this box? Why is he
Because
this
Mumra
bad?
is constantly foiled by the Thundercats.
I agree. Here we go. And there's ways to do it. There's ways where you could have made it been like, oh, when Mum Ra's KO'd, put him on his card. If if there's no friendly characters on the field for him, like he's KO'd type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
We're
there's
we're
ways to there's
we're Monday night quarterbacking this. Like
Hmm.
there's always we could shoulda coulda woulda. Everything could be a little bit better. I think the Thundercats overall is fantastic. Yes, are there things I would have liked
great.
better. I would like the equipment separate from the characters. Thunder Tank, Mumra be
1,000%.
better. I would like the non-powerful Mumra to be out there. But I think overall they did a pretty stand-up job. I think that the non-blind product overall, I mean, LEs are kind of hit and miss, but Iconic specifically are fantastic. The 400 sets have been chef's kiss. I've been pretty happy with the non-blind sets overall.
So, one big thing I see in this picture, the oh gosh, where is it? I just had it pulled up. Um, giant size X-Men Iconics.
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
I would love to see more just cover art Iconics.
One
Um,
thousand percent.
like
That's
we've got
not just
the
first. That's just not cover. That's just not first appearances.
right, like the this looks beautiful. Oh my lord.
I just need Storm and Nightcrawler to be good. That's it. Like I need a powerful Storm. I need a Storm that's very, very good. That's named Storm. That's what I need in her classic costume. That's what I need. I thought
Um,
X-Men 97 was going to give us that, and she's okay, but I want like a powerful Storm that is not as powerful as Hadari, but is like maybe a step down from a Hadari out. That's what I want for Storm. Everyone else, her and Nightcrawler, those are the only two I need to be like top tier.
All right.
oh,
Once again, we
400
have overshot my goal for this evening.
don't we always?
Yep, that's the course for us. All right. Real quick, Scott, what is the first day of the week?
Monday.
Jay?
No, Sunday. Sunday. Definitely Sunday.
Sunday.
Jay, what's the first day of the week?
Monday.
Between banks, cats, or AI, who would you rather have as the overlords in the New World Order?
Have y'all watched Love, Death, and Robots? I definitely don't want it to be cats. Watch Love, Death, and Robots if you have it on Netflix, and tell me what, and you'll see why cats are not the answer.
All right. When you guys come back from a major event, how long does it take for you to unpack your Heroclix and put it back where it goes?
Too long.
A month.
Too long.
I'm looking at my team now. I'm still looking at my team now from the like. Yeah.
I still haven't unpacked all the stuff from Worlds.
I'd say for most part, we're all really bad at that. All right. If you're a crayon, what color are you, Scott?
Melon.
Antonio?
Blue, double D, double die.
Jay?
Probably yellow or red.
Which tastes better, round or square pizza, Scott?
Square.
Antonio?
Square.
Jay?
Round.
We gotta get you some Litos, man. We gotta get you some Litos pizza, Jay. I get you some Litos, man.
I had pizza for
Is
supper
that a
tonight.
restaurant?
Yes, it's a restaurant. It's a
Okay.
restaurant.
Our pizza tonight was like a breakaway. Like I don't know. Y'all know what monkey bread is?
Yes.
So our pizza tonight was like monkey bread. It's just pizza, and you dip
Did
it
you
in
just
sauce.
pull up?
Yep.
Oh,
I will say I do enjoy Detroit style pizza, which is square. But the you get more of the crust on the round pizzas, which then I can share with my dog. Like that makes me happy, which is why the round is.
Why do you hate your
better.
dog, Jay?
You're the one who hates your dog. You won't give them fucking chicken Alfredo or loaded tots like a dickhead.
All right. Scott,
Let me tell you.
you have dogs, don't you?
I have one dog.
Okay. Do you feed people food?
It does not normally get people food.
good man. Good man.
Hold
Good
on.
man.
There are certain people food that your dog can get, or you can modify the recipe to make it pet friendly, but you
Yeah.
still won't give it to them. Do you,
No.
do you just not like your dog? Do you want me to come get your dog from you?
Yes, if you want the dog, please.
Jay
My
made
wife
this
would
like
love for you to
super
take this
fancy
dog.
pizza for his dog. I was like, dude, it's your dog. He's like, do you not love your dog?
I don't
Yeah,
like
so-
I don't like that the reason why I don't like giving dogs people food is because then it makes them think that when they see me with food that they can have some. And I'm like, if you don't get your punk ass away from me, please move. So yeah.
When I'm cooking, I usually try to make dog friendly version of what I'm cooking so that I can share with them so that we can eat and enjoy it together. Like the pizza that Wes is talking about, I made homemade tandoori chicken pizza. However, one edge of it, and it was square, one edge of it, I left sauce sauce completely off because tomato based dogs can't have that. I put cheese on there. I didn't put any of the vegetables on there because some of them they can't have, and I had all of my veggies or all of my veggie toppings just mixed together. The chicken was marinated in the tandoori sauce with yogurt with a lot of spices. So obviously they couldn't have that, but they could have cheeses. So one side of it was left as is, the dough with just cheese on top. And I shared that with them as we were eating, as my wife and I were eating. They were sitting there happily having their cheese bread because that's effectively what it was without the sauce. But we all got to share that experience of homemade food together. I love my dogs like my own kids. You and Wes, you and Scott both apparently don't love your dogs that much.
All right. Well, I will say my dogs get plenty of unintentional people food for sure because I'm very sloppy, messy, and a messy cook. But anyway, I just went to.
Do you do cheese tax?
What's that?
Do you do cheese tax for your dogs?
Cheese tax?
Yeah, when you're cooking and the cheese comes out of the refrigerator.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You give them a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. You don't completely hate your dog. Make your dog chicken Alfredo.
The dog gets a cheese tax.
All right, so I promise I'm trying to wrap this up for you, but I just want to say, as popular as these episodes are for our audience, I absolutely love these episodes. I wish we could do these every week. I love talking to you guys, as evidenced by the fact that we never stay under our goal time. But this is like the highlight of my month is to do these episodes and talk to the three of you. I've been feeling my feelings about some things I've been putting on the internet, and the three of you restore my faith in humanity just because you guys are so much fun to talk to. So thank you so much for being here, guys. Thank you everybody for listening.
Yeah,
if you are interested in the Scott Madness tournament, Scott is doing a March Madness bracket. Scott, you want to tell them about that real quick?
Yeah. The March Madness bracket hasn't been set yet by the NCAA, but once they get it set, I'm going to go in there and start a Talkn Clix group. I will put a link on the Discord, and I'll send Wes one so he can put it into the show. If you win the Final Four bracket, I'm going to send you a Deadpool at home.
I will sweeten the pot a little bit too. I don't know what yet, but I will throw in on the prize for whoever wins. I want to shout out our 3D printers, JJ Hoffner and Kenny Minks. Do outstanding jobs. They're doing great work. If you need anything printed, reach out to them. They'll do it cheaper than anybody else. And they do top quality work. And I believe, Jay, you have a 3D printer, don't you?
I've sent you stuff to be able to give out for pricing too.
Yeah. Are you taking orders?
No, but well, okay. Yes and no. Yes and no. Like if somebody messages me that, hey, can you print me off something like this? I'll tell them, this is what it'll cost me, and I'll do it for cost. I'm printing some. I've been printing stuff for pricing to be able to give that out. The terrain pieces I've been making have apparently been super popular. Brian Dorme, Pastor Brian was using them at the Washington CCO, which I was super happy to see, and figured out a new way to actually give it a nice shine too, which I'm super happy about. So I'll do it for events and stuff. If you want something made, it will probably take me a little bit longer simply because I have to, I'm still working on the 3D sculpting side of it. But while I'm not directly taking orders, if somebody wants something made, I'll talk with them.
All right. Yeah, that's why I shout out Minks and Hoffner because they are actively taking orders and trying to build a base clientele. So I give them a little props when I can.
That's fair.
If you like what you see and hear on this show, want to throw us a bone so we don't have to pay out of pocket for production costs, $5 and above. We do a giveaway at the beginning of each month, which we're going to do one probably next week, I think. $5 tiers, putting your name in multiple times. It's just a nice little thank you to us for celebrating the heroes of our community. And last shout out is to Red, White, and Clix. It is officially back on track. I am got a new website out. I'm actively seeking sponsors. So if you have a contact with a store, anybody that has product or would be willing to financially sponsor the event to help out lower the overhead, so I am doing all this out of pocket to support the veteran community. So, but we are planning on going forward with it. So there's that. All right. That's all I got for tonight, guys. You have any final thoughts?
It's okay to not be okay. It's not okay to stay that way.
Nice. Oh my gosh, I'm about to post that as soon as I get off here, as a matter of fact. Wow. That's great. That's a great saying, Scott. Well, that's a bar, man. Hell yeah.
It's okay to not be okay. It's not okay to what?
Stay
that way.
To stay that way. I like
That's a bar. Wow.
Yeah.
Antonio, you got a final thought?
Hey, man. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Go be super.
Jay?
No immediate thoughts.
Just air. All right.
Yes.
We're all players on the board, so let's play together and be your own superhero. Whatever characteristics and attributes you admire in your comic books and superheroes, emulate those in yourself and be your own superhero. All right, thank you guys for being here tonight. And as always, keep on Clixing. Have a good night.
Later,
Good
nerds.
night.
Peace.